Now, the Trump deranged mob are forever living in the hope that bad orange man will eventually end up in prison, and they got very excited this week when the Georgia grand jury recommended indicting the former president. But before we get too excited, let's hear from the grand jury foreperson, Emily Coles.
I wanted to hear from the former president, but honestly, I kind of wanted to subpoena the former president because I got to swear everybody in. And so I thought it'd be really cool to get 60 seconds with President Trump of me looking at him and being like, do you solemnly swear? And me getting to swear him in. I kind of just thought that would be an awesome.
What is going on? I mean, that is extraordinary to have the jury foreperson go on television and say that.
That was, by the way, I've seen a number of her interviews. That was one of the ones where she was more normal than in some of the other ones. The bizarreness of this sort of child, effectively, is really terrifying. This is what happens when the whole world becomes a campus, and the madness of students and of kids spills out everywhere. You end up with people in serious positions, like heading a jury, behaving like 12-year-old kids, and I mean the sort of quality. I mean the sheer sort of lack of any adultness. I mean, I'm not shocked, but I am horrified.
Well, yeah, you just don't ever want to be personally involved in the justice system if that is the calibre of the person selected to be the foreperson of a grand jury. And I think Trump's lawyers will have some fun with that. Now, lastly, I'm really interested in this speech you gave at the University of Virginia, where you criticised the students there for trying to erase President Jefferson from their campus. How did those students who are prone to be a little bit sensitive, how did they take your criticism?
Well, by and large, I was quite surprised at how well they took it. I've been touring a number of universities in Virginia and the Carolinas, speaking with American students, and what I discover is that there are the smarter students are coming out of the woke era. They are doing so quietly sometimes, but there's no doubt about it that the scolds and the prigs, the ones who have been telling everyone how to behave and what to do and what to read and so on, aren't as popular as they were even a few years ago. There's a smart new generation. I've noticed, I hear from Australians the same thing. There's a smart new generation coming up in all of our countries that has seen through a lot of the BS of our era. So actually, I found incredibly receptive student audiences. They want to hear about truths about their own country. They hate the propagandists who have been tearing down American history, sometimes quite literally. And they want to hear a different story. And they should, because the story of America is an extraordinary story, like the story of Australia. And Americans have a right to feel pride in their history, just as Australians do and everyone else. And so I found a really wonderful, I say so far, a reception from students who want to pass by the woke moment.
Douglas Murray, always a pleasure. Thank you for joining me tonight.